Did she sound really upset?
Yes.
Take it really easy. And make your way back to the center. Let your arms go out into a T. Turn the palms down. And rock over toward your right sits bone. So go slowly toward your right sits bone. Keep both shoulders pinned to the floor. And stop when you get to that right sits bone. So it's about halfway toward that right hip. The knees will be about, I guess it's like a 45-degree angle. Now you're going to take your left hip and roll it away from the waist. Don't use your hands, keep your hands pinned to the floor. And notice as you do this, you'll feel, I feel a lot, my abdominals, your abdominals turning on. Squeeze the legs together just a little bit as you roll that left hip away. And feel the deep muscle tissue, the abdominals, the psoas, engaging. Squeeze the legs together a little more and draw them back to the center. This is slow observational work. Center your hips in case they moved a little bit. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, start to make your way over slowly toward that left sits bone. When you get there, stop. Glue your shoulders and palms to the floor, and then roll your right hip away from the waist toward the probably top of your mat. Feel your front body elongate and deep engagement in the obliques and transverse abdominals. Squeeze, juicy. Squeeze that bottom hip into the top hip, leg, just a little bit for more activation. Now squeeze both legs together on an exhale, drive it back to center. Do it with me, inhale. Exhale toward the right hip, right sits bone. Stop when you get there, so that halfway point. Roll the left hip away from you. Feel that deep tissue engagement. Squeeze the inner thighs, the bottom knee really more into the top knee. Breathe in. As you exhale, roll it back to center. Feel that deep, deep, deep engagement. Palms turn down, Heather. Inhale. So yeah, exhale over to that left sits bone. Roll the top hip away. Squeeze bottom leg into top leg. Hang here. So it's a suspension. And you get that deep, deep abdominal activation. On your exhale, roll that belly to bring the leg and squeeze the legs together to bring them back to center. One more time. Inhale first. Use the exhale to roll toward the sits bone. Left outer hip rolls away from you. Squeeze bottom leg into top leg. Relax the shoulders and palms. Squeeze both legs together, and on an exhale, you'll feel the oppositional. The belly will kind of roll deeply toward the right as the knees come up toward the center. Big breath in the nose. Exhale over to that left sits bone. Roll the right hip away. Squeeze the legs together, but really more bottom leg into top leg. Hang. Melt the shoulders and palms. Squeeze the thighs, and on your exhale, deep belly contraction. It rolls toward the left as the knees come up. Stretch your left leg forward in front of you. Reach your right arm back behind you. Your right knee is pulled into the chest. Bring your left hand to support the back of the head and lift the head up off the floor. Reach left foot and right arm away. Elongate that front body. Now, is the belly popped up? Mine is a little more than I want. Scoop the belly down. Press low back into floor. Yeah, now take that left elbow to the right knee 5 times. Open and diagonally lift it to the knee. 4, the knee stays still. 3, 2, engage that top part of the abdominals. 1 more. Look back to the right hand, reach the right hand back. Reach through the toes. Bring the head back to center. Carefully lower your head down and switch legs. Left knee comes in. Follow the belly as you extend the right leg long. Left arm long. Feel the distance between the left arm and right toes grow. Reach them apart. Take your right hand behind your head. Lift the head up off the floor. Tuck the tailbone under a little bit more. Hold. Reach left arm back, right toes forward. Get longer first. Now we crunch up 5, 4, and open fully toward the ceiling each time. 3, fully open. 2, and that left arm is reaching back away from the right foot. So left arm is behind you. On 1, look back to that left arm. Look back at it. Look back at it. Squeeze. Reach them apart. Come back to the center. Lower the head down. Hug the knees. Bring the knees together, the feet apart. Hold up here. Round your tailbone under. Press the back into the floor. Squeeze the thighs. Like you're trying not to pee. Feel the pelvic floor lift, like you're kegeling or holding your pee, and squeeze the inner butt muscles to engage those. And then relax. Roll your tailbone toward your shoulder. So roll it down into the mat. Huge arching of the low back. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Push down through your feet. Lift the inner ankle bones probably kind of relaxed. I want you to engage them. So lift the inner ankle bone for the outer ankle bone. And now again, and squeeze your big toes into the floor. Round your tailbone under, press your low back into the floor, squeeze your pee muscles, hold your pee, squeeze your inner butt muscles, squeeze your inner thighs. Again, roll your tailbone into the mat, huge arch of the low back. You'll notice the chest also opens, that's great. Melt the shoulders though. Yeah. Hold here now. Take your thumbs into the creases of your inner thighs and just push here. Push your feet into the floor, push your tailbone into the floor, and just softly let your thumbs sink into your inner groin area here. And we don't want to, it's not a deep tissue massage as much as it is the thumbs just are water and the thighs are water. So it's like water sinking into water. So you're not trying to break up any knots. You're just letting the relaxation take you deeper with your thumbs. Now push your lower back into the floor and reach for your butt. And do the same thing. Palpate your butt, but let your fingers just be absorbed. You're not looking for knots. You're just letting your fingers be absorbed into the soft butt. The softness of the butt. Now walk your hands higher up toward the sacrum, more like the piriformis sits bone area. Find a point that's sore there. So just wiggle superficially the tissue. You'll find it. And then sink your fingers into it. Keep that tailbone tucked. Engage the front body a little more. Squeeze your stomach muscles and find some soft tissue in the butt that's sore. And see if you can just let your fingers sink up into the butt. And then I can only find it one side at a time. So I'm doing the right side, and now I'm going to look for the left side. Engage your rectus, your front superficial stomach muscles, to keep that butt soft and let your fingers sink in. Let's use that left hand if you're in the left butt, and reach that right arm back. So you're engaging that right psoas to even get deeper into that left butt. Sink in. You want to find that sort of biting, painful place. Okay, and then shake out your wrists, strangely challenging. Grab your block, and we're going to lift the left knee up and place the block inside that inner left knee. So on the inside of the knee, push the block into the leg and the leg into the block. You'll feel, I think your abdominals engaged, great. You want that. Try to keep your neck soft here. Now you're going to internally rotate that left thigh. This may be painful. It is, certainly is for me. So as you keep the resistance with the block and internally rotate that leg from the femur, the shin bone will kick out to the left and find that resistance. Now I cramped right up in that outer left hip, but I also noticed it's soft there. So I'm going to use this opportunity to release that muscle. I'm taking my thumb and I'm sinking it in to the flabby part here on that outer left hip. So the part that's kind of gushy, I'm going to sink my thumb in there as I push my knee into the block and the block into my knee. And I'm not trying to fight that cramp. I'm just sinking my thumb into the mushy part. That's it. Just a couple pushes of the thumb. You're not fighting, you're just sinking. Okay, now we're going to externally rotate that left thigh, put the block outside the leg and resist. The shin bone will kick in. Push the thigh into the block and the block into the thigh. Take your fingers and push them into the halfway between your vagina, like your bikini line and your inner knee. In that, so start at the inner knee and at that inner line of the leg, that medial line, and follow it up to where you feel a knot or like a serious soreness. Push the leg into the block and the block into the leg and sink your fingers deeply into that inner groin area. Just push your leg into the block and the block into the leg and let your fingers sink into the inner thigh. This action of blocking the leg at the same time we release a muscle, a tight muscle, helps the brain repattern. Making permanent good changes. And then follow up toward the knee. It may have gotten more sore as it moves, and that's a good thing. Okay. Now we're going to take the block and put it behind the leg horizontally. And push the leg into the block and the block into the leg. I'm holding the block with two hands on this one. And then put the block in front of the thigh and push the thigh into the block and vice versa. And then let's rotate it all the way around without the block. So internally rotate the leg. And I'm going slowly. Externally rotate the leg. Draw the leg in toward the chest. You really use your abdominal muscles. Press the foot away like you're pushing it onto a gas pedal. Pull the knee in, suck it up with the abs. Externally rotate the leg. Internally rotate the leg. And draw the knee into your chest. Stretch the leg all the way out. Hold the block in the right hand, reach the right arm all the way back. Get long. Take the block behind the head. Reach the left arm back, elbow to knee, this time extending the leg all the way out. Left arm is back, right elbow to the knee. I'm holding the block behind my head. 5, 4, 3, choosers. 1, hold and squeeze knee to elbow, elbow to knee. Extend the leg all the way out, arm all the way back, and bring it down with the head rest. Both legs out straight, both arms back, hold the block between the hands, and just reach, 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 reach. One side might feel different than the other. And just notice if your left butt feels really different shaped than your right butt right now. Like my left butt feels flatter, which of course aesthetically isn't good, but is good because now the muscles are free to engage and disengage. Before, they were just locked in tightness, which is different than strength, although hard to distinguish. Left foot on the floor, draw the right knee up. Put the block inside the right knee. Internally rotate that right thigh. So you're turning the knee into the block. That right shin will kick out. With your thumb, sink it into the gushy part of that outer right hip. If you don't have gush, great, but there's probably a soft part right at the outer hip area, outer trochanter, and push thigh into block and block into thigh. This time on this side, let's do it with a little catch and release, a little engage and release. So push into the block 5 times, push, release, internally rotate, release. So 4, 3, and with the thumb, you're letting the thumb sink into the gushy part or whatever, that outer trochanter part, the fleshy part of that outer right hip. One more. And hold it. Push thigh into block, lock into thigh, sink the thumb into the muscle tissue there, or whatever it is. In my case, I think it's a little more fat than muscle. Okay. And now we're going to go external. Take the block, put it outside the leg. Externally turn the leg. So you're rotating the thigh, the shin kicks in. Push thigh into block. And we'll just do that a couple of times, getting a sense of the movement. Because I am really asking you to do 2 very separate things. So push thigh into block, block into thigh. And push, release. Push, release. Couple of these. 3, 2, 1. Now with that left hand, trace that inner line about halfway-ish. It's a little closer to the bikini line than knee. You're going to find a very sore point. Sink your thumb into it as you externally rotate into the block. This may burn, but you're barely pushing with that thumb. It's just how it is. We need to release that tension. And do this a couple times if you can, while moving, lock into leg, leg into block. And then after you've done that several times, you're going to move up toward the knee and you'll find another sore spot, I think. And let your thumb sink in there. You're not massaging really, you're just letting it sink like into sort of a jello, like into a gelatin. And when you find the spot, just keep pushing and releasing into it. 3, 2, and this is remapping the brain as well, so it's a really deep, effective work. Okay, and then take your thumb out of there. Take the block in 2 hands sideways, the wide way, and take it behind your hamstring on that right leg, and push and release a few times. Push and release. 4. This is a little bit of pressure as you pull the block. 2 and 1. And then we'll go to the front of the thigh, and thigh into block and block, resist. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Without the block, you're going to we're going to circle-ish. So internally rotate. This time, push your foot like through a gap, like you're trying to push the gas pedal. And then externally rotate. Draw the knee up toward the chest. Externally rotate. Press through the foot like the gas pedal. Internally rotate and draw the knee up into the body. Take the block, put it behind your head, hold with the left hand, reach the right arm back behind you, elbow to knee, knee to elbow, 5, 4, and you can extend your leg all the way out in between the crunches. 2, 1, hold, push elbow to knee, knee to elbow. And then center the head, reach that left leg out, right arm back, reach it long, lower the head, grab your block with both hands, reach out through both. Oh, wow. So my right butt feels really different than it did just moments ago. Reach, like I feel like I have an upper butt and a lower butt. I didn't feel before. Reach that block back, those legs out, and push through the balls of the feet. Then flex the feet and push through the heels with that strong, mighty dorsiflexion. And notice if you feel pain, tightness in your lower back. Extend through that. And then point the toes and lift your pelvic floor muscles up and in. Scoop your belly. See if the arms will glide any further. Okay. And then bring your arms down. Bend your knees, feet flat. Take the block, lift your bum, and go to the medium height of the block. Lower your bum. Okay. Now, squeeze your butt muscles. So scoop your butt. And we're just going to pulse up between 5 and 10 times. So little butt squeezes here, but coming down on the block. Squeeze your big toes up. Squish up the mat a little with your big toes. And squeeze the butt. Now, hold the squeeze of the butt. Take your fingers to where your belly button is. Go over halfway to your outer body. So go over a chunk and dig your fingers in there. And just sink, keep your butt muscles on and sink your fingers here and move them around until you find something tight, sore, and then let them sink in. Keep the butt muscles on. Big toes squeezing. I think this is harder to find, but there it is. So for me, it's diagonal from the left hip bone. Oh, there it is. Sink in there. Oh, that's the troublemaker. Now you may want to extend that left leg, but you got to keep that butt muscle on. So if you squeeze the leg, straighten it, you'll feel your hamstrings, and you want to keep your butt muscles on and sink into that front body with your fingers. Oh, there it is. Just sink and sink and sink. Okay, now relax for a moment. Stretch your arms back, get nice and long. And then bend your left knee. A few pulses of your butt. You can keep your legs bent. It was easier for me to find with that right leg straight. But the key is to keep the right glute on and then bring your fingers over to the right side and find the hip flexor point that's sore. I'm not saying it's the psoas, could be the iliacus, could be something else, could be a nerve, nerves. I don't know, but it's there. And you're going to sink and just keep looking until you find a really sore hot spot. And maybe it's higher up, maybe it's up by the rib cage. Oh yeah. So I've got one right up, right up, probably 3 inches down from the rib cage, more toward the center. And that is the psoas. The psoas travels through there. Oh yeah. So that's hot. It's physically hot. And I'm sinking my fingers in there, but the key is to keep the butt engaged on that right side, especially, but any part of your butt. And sink in there. And just keep pushing if your leg is straight, keep pushing your right heel into the ground. So push and release, push and push. And this will help the brain remap it. 2 and 1. And then stretch out both legs, stretch out both arms. Just be here if you can. Nice and long. Open the crown chakra. So imagine a big skylight opening at the top of your head and letting light pour through the crown into the throat chakra, which right now is probably a little squished up. And just let that throat chakra be cleansed in light. Let the shoulders drop. Let go of tension in the front of the throat. The chakras and the endocrines are directly related. We let it go through the hypothalamus, pineal, pituitary, down into the thyroid, down into the thymus, in through the heart. And keep letting that leg go through, down, through your legs, out through your feet. Reach through the toes, back through the fingers. And then carefully rebend the knees. Your back may feel squeamish for a moment. Let it settle. Bend the elbows into a goalpost shape. Relax the chest open. Breathe in. And as you exhale, scoop the tailbone, pull the block out from under there, and super slowly take your time. Calm down. Put a hand on your low belly area, like pubic bone, low belly, one on your diaphragm. Take a deep breath through the nose. Open the jaw really wide and let out sound. Ha. Place both hands on that lower area and take a few breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And just get observational again. A little bit higher than the pubic bone, more like lower belly button. And notice if that area is really open and accepting breath. Your knees can fall together. With your eyes closed, you may notice circles or lights or nothing. It's all good. Now bring your hands up to that diaphragm area. So right at the bottom of the center ribs, that xiphoid process. Breathe there. Okay, so I'm really open on the right side, really not on the left. So I'm not changing that. I'm just like, okay, observe it. In through the nose, out through the mouth. So that tells me something about the left diaphragm and probably why my left side is so much more sore than my right. And now bring your hands to the high chest and notice there. So elbows are off the floor, hands are in a pile. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Is it moving? Does it feel open or does it feel locked? Now you're going to put your hand on the place that was the most open breath, and the hand on the area that was most closed, and you're going to alternate. So you're going to breathe into the open one, into the nose, out through the mouth, and then the next round will be into the more closed one. And I actually want you to do 2 in the open one and 1 in the closed one. Do a few rounds, 2 rounds in the open, 1 round in the closed. And then go back to just the first place that's open, both hands piled there, take 1 breath. And then go to the place that was more closed and 1 breath there, and notice if it's changed at all. Good job. And it's really good observation. It will help remap the brain. Stretch your legs out, your arms out, and just reach to the right and left side. So you're in a diagonal, right leg, left arm, left leg, right arm. And then a gorgeous X. Right where the lines cross, engage in the center of that X. Engage, 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 engage. And reach from there. So reach from that imaginary center out. You're a butterfly. Stretch your wings. And then bend your left knee, roll to your right, pause and breathe into your back body a lot. This is really important to just to get in there with your breath and massage all the areas through the back, innervating all our organs through the back body. This is a big acupuncture tool. The way the energy is transported through the spine here is really important for feeling good. Just send the breath all up and down the spine. And if you notice a tight area, focus there for a little bit. The breath, or like the hand is imagine it's the hands of your favorite masseuse. Just enjoy it. And then when you're ready, use your hands to push up. And let's stretch right into, good morning, a downward dog. And you just might, wow, like notice like your hamstrings are just different. Your heels might be down when they usually aren't, or you just might feel a lot more limber. Your limbs are more burr, whatever that means. Bend the knees a tiny bit to aim your sitting bones up and stretch those arms long. Turns on the triceps and so just with ease, roll those shoulders wide so your neck hangs freely without those naughty little trapezius muscles cutting off your circulation. Feel your belly as it naturally draws up into all of that space, and admire your ankles lifted probably with natural ease. And then walk your feet up to your hands, you gorgeous you. Bend the knees, pull your heart forward. Easy here, scooping those armpits into the size of grapefruits, like you could just hide a grapefruit under each one. Stomach draws in as your head bows down. Turn your head, no, nod it. Yes. Inhale, lift from the heart as you root down, rise up, breathe good morning, hello, aloha, and then draw your hands into your heart center. Release your arms down, palms open, big morning breath, in and up through all these open channels we already gotten ready. Bend the knees and fold forward. To place the camera right. Inhale, lift your heart. Left foot, right foot, back into a nice strong plank. Engage your big toes, really dig them into the mat so you know what they feel like. The neck of the big toes stretching. Think of that little neck. And then your actual neck, pull your shoulders down, reach your head forward, tuck your tailbone a little bit, feel your belly suck in. Then the elbows close to your sides, and then roll through an upward dog. The bottom of the butt muscles squeeze up. Belly stays firm as you roll back into down dog. Shake out any tension. And then breathing through the nose exclusively. Begin to really focus on that ujjayi breath, that upward lifting breath. Inhale, raise your heels, bend the knees as you exhale, walk or jump forward. Inhale, nice long back. Exhale, folding in, strong tummy. Maybe you feel your hamstrings. Inhale, rise, circle the arms, morning light, hands down to the heart. Release the arms down, palms open. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, diving over. Inhale, diagonal here. Step right and left foot back. tailbone tucks, belly squeezes, wide shoulders, bend the elbows. Inhale, gliding through. Exhale, home to down dog. Eyes resting between the feet. Let the breath quiet the mind. Inhale, raise your heel. Bend the knees, exhale. Walk or jump. Inhale, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise. Take a back bend if it feels good. Exhale, hands to the heart. Bend the knees, sinking low. Raise those arms up. Hips moving back. Torso at a diagonal angle. Arms lined up with the ears. Squeeze your big toes, squeeze your outer glutes, and then release it as you fold. Inhale, lift up, step back with your left foot, reach up with your right arm. Left shoulder blade down the back. Reach your right arm over your ear and stretch from your left toes to your right fingers. We worked on this on our backs a lot. Spiral here as you reach that right arm and left foot in opposite directions. Bring your right hand down, carefully lower your left knee and stretch your right leg. Flex that right foot and reach your heart toward the foot. Push down with your right heel, right? So the right leg is straight. Push down and relax. Push down and relax. It's just gentle. Push and sink. Push and sink. Now take your thumb into that fleshy part of that right hip. And as you push, sink the thumb in there. And as you release, the thumb sinks even deeper. Push and sink. Pull that foot towards you as you push down. And sink, let that thumb sink in. Hips go back a little ways more. And then bring it forward. So walk your hands forward. Come into a very, very knees over toesy lunge. You're going to lift the heel up and sink. You're trying to bring your right hamstring to your right calf. And sink into that left groin. And if you can reach back there with your right thumb, sink your thumb into any part of that left leg that feels soft. Sink it in there. See if you can find a sore spot. It might even be the bum. All right, we're going to go right to half pigeon here. So walk that right foot over. Sink that right knee down, left leg out, and extend all the way out here with the arms. We want to stretch the upper body here. So we are in the hip, but we want to crawl our arms as far forward as we can, and then relax. And little pulses here of pushing your fingers into the ground, pulling with little tiny lat pull-ups, and release. Pull and release. So we're engaging those side muscles and letting them go. 3, 2, 1, and then relax it a lot. Really let yourself sink. Walk your hands up, bend your left knee, contract that hamstring and let it go. Bend it and release a couple times. 3,
Elena, what I would recommend is to gently work that right leg away from you and toward you. And try to isolate that rotation, but super slowly. Now we're gonna reach back with the left arm, so same arm, same leg, and pull that foot in and stretch that quadricep, those quadriceps, because they're plural, on the front of the leg. Rotate the hips slightly forward to get deeper into the muscles. And bring the foot in and release it back just a little bit. So we're not just passively doing it, we're pulling it in, pressing it out. Pulling it in, pressing it out. Find that isometric resistance, where the foot is kicking into the hand, but the hand is pushing. And see if you can feel it all the way up your chest. All that chain, that whole chain is connected. Okay, gorgeous, slowly let it release. Oh. We're gonna take that right hand behind us, just lift the hips up off the floor. Have an open stretch here. Hips up, left arm up, it's like rock star, that pose. Sexy rock star. And then bring it down. Both hands on the floor. Square yourself forward and pedal out a nice down dog. Look under the right shoulder, left. Squishy. Pedaling here. Calves are stretching. Give me nurture, a little bouncy, a little more give in a good way. Step your left foot forward, raise your right arm. Squeeze those hips toward each other, the legs into a scissor. Wake up that right big toe and circle that left arm overhead and reach to those left fingers and that back heel. Nice. And feel that space. Karen, you're doing something different. I don't know if that's on purpose, but we're in a lunge. The left foot is forward, the right leg is back, left arm is over the ear, and you're reaching. So a twisting lunge. And Elena, can that left arm be higher, head higher? Good. And the back knee is up, Karen, if you want it up. Yeah. Right, good. And now bring that left hand down, lower the right knee carefully, coming into that hamstring stretch, straighten that left leg. We don't want to stay here passively, so we're going to push that left heel down a few times, pushing it down as we pull it back, which really turns on those muscles. 4, and you can stick your left thumb into that hip crease and just let it sink in. 2, and sink those fingers in even more. Slide those hips back even further. Oh la la. Uchiwawa. And then bend that left knee. Come up onto the ball of the left foot and sink here. Feel back for that right inner thigh somewhere. And just see if there's a point where you can sink your fingers in. Find a soft spot. And sink your fingers into it in a way that feels therapeutic. So we're in a deep lunge. Our left knee is over the ball of our foot. We're knees over toes here, and we're in that deep right groin area. But the butt is fair game. So you want to find the mushiest spot and sink into it. It might be the thigh. Untwist it, walk your left foot over into a half pigeon, sink down, crawl it forward. Crawl, 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 those arms out. And press your fingertips down into the floor, a little side body engagement, pull, release, pull, like you're doing little pull-ups. And then reach a little further. And relax it. Use your breath like your favorite masseuse. And aim it into an area that feels like it's being worked here. Walk your hands in. Bend the right knee, right hand back. Rotate forward again. And find that place where your quads on that right leg are engaged, isometric, or push the foot into the hand and the hand into the foot to find that engagement. We find that contraction, release that contraction. Pulse it. 5, 4, 3, 2. Find it and hold it. Let's do what we did on the other side. I think we let it go straight and in, and 5 of these. So you're really strengthening this posterior chain, making that right hamstring work. Strings. Stretch the leg out, lift the heart. Oh. Nice, you guys. Lean to your left. Swing that right leg forward. And we're gonna scooch down onto the mat. Have your blocks. Put the block under your butt again. Take the second block, if you have one, put it between the upper thighs. Squeeze here. Pulsing in. You could use a pillow instead, or nothing, or a book. 10. A pillow is strangely nice. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold on one, squeeze. Lift your heels. Can you raise that supporting block up to its highest height? The answer may be not today. Can you keep holding that block between your legs as you raise your feet? Again, the answer may be no. Shoulders draw a little bit closer together. Grab your mat. Inner ankles up. Stretch through the toes. Flare the toes. Relax the neck. Squeeze that block if it's still there. Pulse it in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze and hold and reach. Relax, take the block out, the block between your legs out, and bring your big toes together, ankles toward each other, knees toward each other. Relax the palms if you can. Hang out here. Feeling the belly hollow. You relax the butt a little, and if you can, in my case, when I do that, you notice the pelvic floor, and that inner Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha happens automatically. So I get that inner line, that inner strength engages when I give the opportunity to. So right now, before that, the butt was doing what Mula Bandha really should be doing, because it's a better choice. So the butt is robbing me of good Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha, which is really what
we want happening in our inversions. And then bend your knees. Slowly lower your beautiful feet. Stay here, just open in the supported bridge. Again, that skylight of the crown is open. Going through us. Light pouring down through us. Coming back up through the feet and back out through that skylight. It's bi-directional. And the beautiful summer solstice. New moon energy. And then carefully raise your buttocks, pull the block out, and let's hold this strong pose. The bridge from the physical to the metaphysical, symbolically. And then we slowly take your time. This is a lot of new mapping for your brain. Roll it down. Let your feet come together and knees come apart. Block as you like. Place a hand on your belly and one over your heart this time, and breathe in through the nose, all the way up the front, and exhale out the mouth. And imagine that going down the back body, that transportation chain. Inhale, we imagine zipping up the front line, the conception vessel. And exhale down the back line. All that good stuff. One more time, inhale, clean energy, up the conception, up that front line, and exhale down the back. Let your legs naturally fall out in front. Reach back for your head and hold right at the base of the skull as you lower your head back down. And just let your fingers sink into that hairline, moving them out from left, so they're moving from center out toward the ears. I'm just moving my head a little bit left and right. I get a dynamic rocking. I'm going all the way to the jawbone. And one more time, starting at the center, following the hairline, just rocking my head over my fingers so that my fingers can sink in, sinking into a nice jello bowl. Till I get to that hard bone at the jaw. Grab that jaw, open and close the mouth while holding the jaw 5 times. And then let it relax. Take your fingers to your collarbones and slide them out toward the shoulders. And then with the backs of the hands, sweep down toward your hips. Palms of the hands sweep across the hip bones to the outer thighs, knock the body, and the palms roll up. Shoulders knock down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. 2 more like that. Breathe in deeply. And exhale all the air out. One more time. Deep breath in. And then exhale. After that sequence, I'm liking the blocks underneath my thighs, the backs of my thighs, above the knee. It just feels really good to my back, but see what feels right for you. Maybe none or someone else. So this was more we did more of an intensive remapping of the brain than normal. And in these cases, we always want to shut down, but we really, really, truly want to shut the brain down and just let it absorb all this new information. And like a cartographer, a map maker needs a little time alone to make their map. I just want to give our brain a few moments to enjoy this new map. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Nice and slow. Breathe in deeply. Take your time. Exhale. Again, deep. You feel ready to move, you'll yawn and stretch and explore the new pathways you've made. Bending that left knee, roll to your right. Again, we're curling into a little ball and we're sending the breath along the back body. Really strategically allowing our organs to be fed nutrients and blood through our spine. When you feel ready, use your hands to push down, to come up, and make your way up to a seat. If you want to use a block for that, great. Get anchored on your sits bones. Just notice if your alignment feels a little easier. You don't have to work so hard to stay up or keep the chest open, or the neck is able to hold the head without crinkling or ruffling. Enjoy this beautiful alignment. Maybe you can see that line of light moving through you. Looks a little more organized. Raise the arms overhead. Press the palms down to the heart. And please join me using the sound of Om, the sound of the earth, her signature song, and let it move through us. Inhale. Om. Thumbs rise to the third eye. We bow, honoring one another, honoring our ancestors, honoring ourselves in this practice. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a beautiful day. And I'll see you soon. Love you.
Hope y'all feel good.